Oh, hey, y'all. So it's December, like really December, almost mid-December. Anyway, welcome back to another vlog.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan, and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life of a small child, all the things. If that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for your support. All right, so it has been a hell of a year, not just for me, but for everyone. The masses are saying that 2025 put them through it, okay? And it definitely put me through it, all right? So as y'all know, if you've been like following along with the vlogs, I know I haven't put out too many this year, but if you've been following along, you know that I have been working the wildfire claims. In January, we had massive wildfires in Palisades and in the Altadena area of Southern California. So basically, those claims, a lot of them are, some of them are coming to a close, and some of them have like contents issues that need to be addressed. I think I had mentioned in previous vlogs that even for the homes that only had like soot and ash, where they just simply needed a cleaning, a lot of the contents for the most part was affected because of lead contamination, different heavy metals, things like that. So there were a lot of situations where some of the goods could not be cleaned, and so they need to be disposed of. And then on top of that, you have the other items that can be cleaned and they need to be packed out while the home is cleaned and all that stuff. So just a lot happening. So a lot of my claims right now are pretty much in a position where I'm just kind of waiting for people to get done with their cleaning. Some people have already moved to repairs, or they've started cleaning and noticed that there was other damage. Something that's been pretty common is the power went out in some of the homes. So the refrigerator leaked and caused damage to some of the flooring below. So it's like secondary damages from, just like the effects of the wildfire. So we're dealing with a lot of that. Today, I am hoping to close like one to two of the claims, which is crazy because I haven't really been able to close much. I think out of all the claims that I've had, I've been able to close about two of them. And if you know anything about insurance, usually they want you to close as you're getting new claims. They want your desktop to kind of be flat where like, you just kind of have like the same amount of claims all the time. Now, obviously, that's not always possible depending on, the severity of the claims and stuff like that, but that's really the goal. With these, because of how intense these fires were and just the different types of damages and nuances and stuff like that, we haven't been able to close them as quickly. So some of these claims I've had since January, where other claims I've gotten as transfer claims from different departments as we started to minimize the employees that were working on these claims. So today, the goal is to try to close one or two. I know I can close one, but I'm going to shoot for two. There are a couple of complex situations going on that I may or may not get answers to today. I have a meeting with my supervisor on Friday. Today's Wednesday, so I might have to push those off until Friday. But I am going to try to work them as quickly as I can and respond to like inquiries that I've gotten. So yeah, I will definitely pick up the camera and just kind of walk you guys through the day as I usually do. As I'm working through some of these issues, I will walk y'all through it too. And I need to go make my smoothie because I'm starving. So yeah, let me go on ahead and just get all my windows and stuff set up, get all my applications open, and I will be back to chat with you guys in a little bit. All right, so just wanted to check in real quick and let y'all know what is happening. I got everything open, so all my apps are open and all that jazz, so I can kind of see what I have going on today, what needs to be done, and basically realistically what I can, like take care of and resolve. So that claim that I told you that I want to close out, I do make it a habit of reaching out to the customer first. I don't like to shock them with me closing the claim. And I also like to let them know that even if the claim is closed, they can still come back to me, like if they have any questions. There is time frames for like certain things. So if they're claiming something new, they do have to do it within a certain amount of time. And that's usually listed on the closing letter. It'll tell them, depending on what it is, they have a year, 3 years, whatever. And especially with this being a state of emergency, I think that the extension is a little bit longer. But yeah, so I'll be getting that to them. But I reach out and just say, hey, we got this final invoice. Is there anything else that you want us to take a look at before we close the claim? And then let them know, hey, you can still reach out to me even with the claim being closed if something comes back. Like, just because we shut down a claim doesn't mean that, you're banned forever. You can still reach out if you have questions, and, we can work through it at that time. So I'm waiting for her to get back to me. She's really nice and she's pretty responsive. So if I don't get a response from her today, it'll likely be tomorrow. So I'm hoping I can close that one out today. I tried to hit her up early enough to where she would be able to respond today so I can shut that down. But again, worst case, I'll talk to her tomorrow. I did look at my calendar, which is something that I do daily. I usually check before I leave the office too, just to see if there's anything that I need to be aware of for the next day. Completely forgot. So I'm actually glad that I brushed my hair back and, put on some mascara or whatever. But I do have, this is like a company meeting, like a department meeting that we have today. It's not until 10, but it is an hour. So I got about 2 hours to kind of get some stuff done before I'm in that for an hour. And then tomorrow I have a CE class. And Friday, there's 2 meetings. So I've got a one-on-one with my supervisor, and then there is another holiday virtual meeting. And then next week, I have to go meet in person because we have our end of the year, Christmas luncheon type thing. Because we're not quite on the same team as before, we're still on special assignment. It's going to be us meeting along with those managers. So it'll be a smaller group, but we get to eat and I get to eat for free. So that's always good. Hopefully they pick a good restaurant. So I'm just waiting to see. And I don't think I'm going to have to travel as far as I have in the past. I'm not really tripping about travel. Here's the thing. I'm going to be on the clock anyway, so I don't really care where they send me as long as I can, beat traffic and all that both ways. So we'll see what they're talking about. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know what's happening with that. I did get vendor invoices, so I want to get those taken care of. Also, we have an internal system where we can communicate with our assigned vendors. So I did have a vendor reach out to me saying that they were unable to open a shell on Xactimate. So I need to try to figure that out because I'm waiting for an estimate from them. Because once I get that estimate and I'm able to pay that customer, then I'll be able to close that one down because that's really the only thing that I'm waiting for. So I am seeing some light at the end of the tunnel as far as getting some of these claims, just closed and resolved. I still have a bunch more left to go, but we are starting to see some movement and some resolution. So that is the blessing of it all. But yeah, I'll reach back out to you guys as the day goes on, just to let you know what I've been able to, address. But just want to let y'all know that I've logged in and I kind of have my game plan set for the day. Okay, what's up, y'all? So I'm taking a little bit of a break right now. It's been about an hour and a half since I last talked to you guys. I am getting prepared for that meeting I was telling you about, but I just want to let you know about some of the issues that I have going on with customers. So as I was going through my files, I noticed that there were actually 2 or 3 that I could probably close. So I sent out those messages to them, letting them know, hey, your claim is ready for closure. Let me know if there's anything else that you want me to review, and we can go on ahead and, shut down. So I did that. But I also have 2 customers that are kind of giving me a hard time. One of them, I've talked about them before. If you've been watching the vlogs, I talked about this probably a few months back, but this one customer, he wants us to cash him out on his personal property coverage because he says that all of his items are contaminated. Now he's got close to $750,000 worth of coverage, but he doesn't want us to do an inspection of the contents. The issue with that is people think that because it is a state of emergency that we just don't do any of the claims investigation, and that's not how it works. For a total loss, obviously there's nothing to inspect. So we do have processes in place to make sure that those customers are paid properly. But if the items are still available, we still have to send out a vendor or have the customer review these products, send us, or not products, but send in a worksheet letting us know what's damaged, so we can determine how much it costs, because the policy only owes you what you had. So the policy doesn't just cash you out just because you have the coverage. It's basically saying that you have up to this amount of coverage for what is owed. So that's what we're trying to explain to them. And it's been going on for months. So they've been asking us in different ways and all that. Then they sent an email to my supervisor asking for their claim to be transferred to a large to a large loss adjuster. And my supervisor responded back like, your claim is actually with like the large loss department. So let us know if you have any questions, but it's being monitored and it's where it's going to stay. So they haven't said anything back, and they're basically bullshitting on starting their cleaning and stuff, saying that they're not in agreement with our estimate and our scope, but they haven't presented anything to like contrast with what we have. So it's like, okay, you don't have to agree, but you do need to get started. And if you don't agree, then you need to get us like a comparable estimate. So yeah, that's one thing. So I'm going to talk to my supervisor about that on Friday. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to prepare like a starting letter? Because they're still in temporary housing. And I mean, people think that they could just stay in temporary housing indefinitely, and that's not how it works. So there's that. And then I have another customer who's refusing a inspection of her home. She's claiming all these other like damages in the house, which is fine, because as we're going into these homes, sometimes people see, oh, the floor was affected, or there's a broken window like because of the heat, or maybe there's some issues with the stucco. That's fine, but we do need to have it inspected so we can get it on file, get photos, and get undisputed payments out, like basically what we know is owed. So even if you're working with a contractor, we need to pay at least what we know we owe so we can get that out, and then we can work on resolution. But this lady is on BS. So I did have to send her a stern letter and remind her of her duties. And then she sent me an email today. I'm assuming she got the letter. And she's like, oh, I don't want to seem uncooperative, but she gave me like bullet points on, why she's delaying the inspection. So there's that. So I'm going to work on those couple of things with my supervisor, because if left up to me, I'm probably going to say some crazy shit. And not crazy shit that's unprofessional, but like I'm at a point with these claims where I'm like, okay, stop playing with me. Stop playing. Like, because I'm very lenient. I'm not a adjuster. Like, if it's owed, it's owed. I'm not going to go back and forth with you if it's owed. And I don't care what the dollar amount is. If I can justify it and it makes sense and you're not on BS, I'll get it paid for you. But I start to turn up when people do stuff like this, like you're delaying it and you're trying to tell me how things are going to go when there's a policy in place. So it's not like I'm trying to force you to do anything, but it is my job to adhere to the policy. And if my management gets in the file and is asking me what the F is going on and I don't know what's going on, then now I don't want to say my job is on the line, but it can be, if I am not showing that I'm actually working the claim and, getting it resolved. So I do need to put some things in place, but I'm trying to be as empathetic as possible. These people are just making it difficult. So yeah, that's pretty much that on that. I just want to check in with y'all and let you know what's happening. It's not all peaches and cream. Like, I am a little bit irritated with these people, but that's a part of claims. Like, if you work insurance claims, you're going to be irritated some of the time, because these people are something else. Like, they basically try to tell you how to do their job when they have no idea what's going on. So yeah. Anyways, just wanted to let y'all know what's happening, but yeah, I'll be back. Y'all, so I just got out of that meeting about like 10 minutes ago, and it was pretty informative, like a meeting that we have once or twice a quarter, where they just kind of go over growth of the company, kind of like our goals. Right now, since it's the end of the year, they're talking about how we did financially and all that stuff, especially with the wildfires. Any insurance company that handled the wildfires definitely put out a lot of money this year, because it was devastating, and there were a lot of moving pieces, and we're still paying out a lot. And that's what insurance is for. So this is not like a complaint or anything. Like, when a loss happens, that is covered. Your insurance companies to pay, and that's exactly what has been going on. So just kind of talked about different jobs that were to be offered in the new year, and also I guess like expectations for the new year and like different, goals and stuff. So it was good. It was informative, but it's over now. It went over about like 15 minutes because they usually take like a portion of it to answer questions that are sent in pre-video or whatever, or pre-meeting, should I say. So that was informative, and it was like some good questions, some things that I would have asked, but I'm usually not the type of person that participates in stuff like that. I'll participate like on a department scale or on a like team scale, but I usually I don't be fooling with all the big bosses and stuff like that. So anyways, right now I'm having a cup of Rise coffee. I already had my main cup of coffee this morning, but I needed a little pick me up. I have lunch in about a little less than an hour, actually. I made tacos last night, so I'll probably just have like a taco salad today because I don't have any more taco shells, which is fine. I like a little taco salad and just kind of chill and listen to my book on my lunch. But yeah, I just going through my files, there's actually a few files that I might be able to discuss with my supervisor. Some I don't know if we can close because I've had a couple people, believe it or not, that are not responsive. Like, it's so weird. They have this open claim and I've been reaching out asking for updates, but they're not responding to me. So I'm like, usually they want you to send like a letter to the person, like, hey, I've been trying to reach out to you X amount of times, haven't heard back. Do you still need assistance? If not, we'll close your claim. There's one guy in particular, and I know that I think like his family has had some health issues. So I really don't want to close his claim, but I haven't heard from this guy in like maybe 2 or 3 months. I've called, I have emailed multiple times and have not heard back. But I talked to my supervisor and she's like, oh, did you send a letter? I did, and didn't get a response to that. So I think I'm going to end up having to just shut his down. So we shall see. I'll ask, like, is there anything else that she wants me to do in particular? But I do think that one is going to be just shut down. So I'm actually in a position to close a few more claims than what I thought, but I just want to make sure that everything is taken care of. Because the worst thing, the worst thing, if you're an adjuster, when you close a claim and then you have to open it right back up to address something that wasn't addressed. So I try to nip that in the bud before I close it. Now, if something comes up down the line, it just is what it is. But I hate to do that. Like, it's like you feel like you have a win and then you don't really have a win. So yeah, I need to actually upload this document for a vendor that was asking for like additional information because they write an estimate for this guy's retaining wall and garage. So I need to go and do that. And then I'm just going to pay off the rest of these invoices I was telling y'all about before I clock out. And yeah, I just need a moment to rest because it's December and my mind is in January, So yeah, let me get back to work. So I made me a little bootleg taco salad with ground beef, cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, and there's some refried beans under there that you probably can't see. Oh, and I got some cucumber that I cut up yesterday. So yeah, about to eat. I'm back. All right, so I just got back from lunch about 15 minutes ago, and I'm going to kind of switch gears for the rest of the day. So I did most of the follow-ups that I needed to do prior to logging out for lunch. I still got a couple more invoices that I need to review and pay. The reason why it's taking me so long is because a couple of the invoices I'm not sure if we should be paying, which is a whole other story. So I'm going to probably shoot my supervisor a message and ask her if we're supposed to pay these. It's like clearance testing, and I don't know if we're paying for multiple clearance testing because some people's homes haven't passed. And that's not necessarily an insurance problem. It's more like their vendors. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with those. So I need to figure out that. But what I'm doing now, because we did get instructions last week to start updating our reserves and making sure that we're requesting additional money on claims where we don't have enough to like pay on supplements. I have a couple of customers where they have informed me that we'll be getting like new HVAC estimates, whatever. Like maybe they don't agree with our scope. So they have the HVAC vendor that is going to be sitting over their scope and their cost. So I'm waiting for those things. Also, with some of the people that have had cleaning, there was damage to like the drywall and paint, like streaks and stuff, and just like other damage. So some of those people are wanting like paint in the house. And I'm waiting for the documentation to show that painting is warranted. I can, once I get that information, then I can kind of create my own estimate with the measurements and sketch. I can create my own like painting estimate. And then if there's a supplement that needs to be paid later, I can do that. So I'm going to go through my files and start requesting those updated reserves. I've done them for like a few of the claims, but there are some other claims that I haven't got to yet, and I just want to make sure that I get that taken care of because next week is the last week before Christmas, and then that week is going to be pretty busy that week and the week after because it's basically, you know, you got Christmas and then next week you got New Year's. So I wanted to try to get some of these things done because I don't want to be on the list. If you've been following me, you know I do enough to where I don't end up on naughty list. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I started working on one that's going to take me some time just because it's been so many payments made. So I have to do like a check summary, and then I have to just kind of like guesstimate and forecast the prices for certain items. So I'm reviewing a testing report now to kind of help me with that forecast. So yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, and I have a public adjuster sent me an HVAC estimate that needs to be reviewed. It's not a lot of money, but it does need to be reviewed. I need to make sure that it's warranted and that their scope is in line with what the testing vendor recommended. So yeah, I got my work cut out for me for the next like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So yeah, let me go ahead and get started. Hey y'all, you like my glasses? My sister and her boyfriend got these Ray-Ban glasses for me. They record, they're so cool. I'm listening to a book, and so to give my ears a rest from my AirPods, I was like, let me go ahead and put this on so I can listen to the books from here. I just wanted to come back and close out the video and let y'all know like what I had going on. First of all, I had to get me a snack. Have you ever had the plantain chips or plantain? I think that's the correct way to pronounce them. The plantain chips from Trader Joe's. If not, get you some. They're fire. Just had to give me a little snack and re-up on my water while I am reviewing this item. But I think, so the last thing I'm going to do today is complete my write-up for this HVAC estimate that this public adjuster sent last week. I had talked about it in a previous clip, but basically he presented an estimate for complete replacement. And I went through the testing protocols, and we're in line. The pricing also for the HVAC system isn't bad. It's in line with like most of the HVAC systems that I've seen. That's one thing I do look for. Like, is the pricing extremely high? Is the pricing extremely low? We're actually right. Like the pricing that they have is basically the average that I've been seeing. So I'm just writing it up to explain why I am in agreement with the replacement because it's within my authority. So I don't want the file to get audited and, you know, they're like, oh, well, why did you replace or whatever? I am justifying replacement, and I'm going to apply depreciation to the estimate and then going ahead and get them paid. Because basically this is like the last thing that I need to issue payment on. I am expecting some other estimates from the public adjuster. He's going to send them in, I guess, as he gets them. But I want to make sure that everything is off my desk while I'm waiting for them to get their information over to me. So they are in the middle of doing mitigation, but there are some repairs that need to be done. So I just want to make sure that that is, I want to make sure I'm not holding things up, basically. So that's all I have for you guys today. I updated a lot of those reserves that I was telling you guys about. I still have a couple more to do, but I don't know if I'm going to get through them today. I kind of have the rest of the week to get through them, but I do want to try to make those a priority, especially with tomorrow being Thursday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It wasn't a whole lot going on today. Really, the goal is just to kind of set everything up, since not only is it December and the end of the year, it's the end of the quarter. So I want to make sure that I get in any last minute reserves, review any last minute estimates, because when we come back from the holidays, it's no more, there's no more days off. Well, we do get King Day off, but after that, we're pretty much done with holidays until Memorial Day. So I just want to make sure that when I'm back, I'm not like having anything lingering from the end of the year. So, yes. But anyways, if you like this video, if you learned something, if you enjoy, definitely go on ahead and click that like button. It really helps with YouTube algorithm. If you made it this far and haven't subscribed, please go on ahead and click that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. Be sure to comment and let me know if there's anything that you want to see, either in December or beyond. And with that being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your bag, it's like I never